Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we're here to tell you how we felt about the Metallica Through the Never. So this movie is a concert film with a narrative structure built in the middle of it, which really surprised me. I knew from seeing trailers that they were gonna do some stuff that wasn't just in the concert footage, and I saw like windows from buildings breaking and things, and I was like, what is this movie? I have to know. And basically, as far as the story part of it goes, it's this very surreal thing that I think feels like a music video, where it takes this roadie who is enjoying this Metallica concert, and then he's asked to run off and go on some mysterious mission to go find something. We're not really told what, I think, and except that we know that he needs a can of gasoline to do whatever it is that he's going to do. And he runs off, and he winds up in the middle of some kind of civilian protest thing against police. It winds up in the middle of this thing, and craziness ensues. And most of the point of that narrative structure seems to be to kind of parallel and mirror ideas that are happening in the concert and in the lyrics of the songs and things like that. And then in the actual concert, we see this just enormous spectacle of all of these really amazing kinds of set pieces and props and things in this kind of like the be-all end-all of Metallica
and
concerts.
Fire.
And yeah, and more pyrotechnics than I've ever seen in anything, I think. Anyway, Sarah, how did you feel about Metallica Through the Never?
Well, Metallica Through the Never
Yes.
made me feel like keeping Metallica music in my car for the next 3 months. That's what it made me feel like.
All right.
I am in a Metallica mood right now, and will be through Christmas, I promise you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was awesome. Okay, so thing I liked, besides Metallica, I liked all the random imagery that kept happening all over the place. You never knew what to expect. That was cool. Starting at the beginning, where the guy pops out of his car excited for the Metallica concert.
That was so fun.
Metallica!
Metallica!
Tries to get on his car, but can't because he's a little overweight and has to climb on the hood. It's hilarious. And then the guy skateboarding falls off right away. Yeah. And then it's crazier beyond that. That's what I liked.
So the imagery.
So all the imagery. That was cool. What I didn't like was no Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't expect it, but it would have been nice, because Unforgiven 2 is my absolute favorite Metallica song. So.
But Unforgiven's up there too.
Yes, that is. It's kind of. Yeah.
But you got everything else you really, really like.
Oh yeah,
right?
So I didn't get my favorite. I mean, Unforgiven 2 are kind of like this.
But you got Fade to Black, and
I got everything like items 2 through 6 or something. I mean,
yeah.
they just kind of nailed them right after that on my favorites list. So I couldn't be too upset. But I'm gonna say that I am feeling it.
Okay, I don't usually go for one word feelings, but
Bacon. No.
I thought broccoli. This movie made me feel like Sarah. This movie just overall, this was the only thing I could think of because I this word kept popping in my head through the whole movie. Uh-huh. This movie made me feel giddy.
Uh-huh.
I like, and you saw me. I was there were a couple of opening guitar riffs to songs I love where I just went.
Literally.
My favorite thing about this movie is how much of a showman James Hetfield is. And it's funny that I'm saying that because I could have said that in a concert, mm-hmm. but it made the stage stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I should say the band all together. They're such showmen.
Yeah.
They
all brought a lot of energy to
and Lars Ulrich is hilarious. Like he every time the camera is anywhere near him, he's sticking his tongue out.
Most energetic drummer I've ever seen.
They're having so much fun with this, and you know that I've read up a little bit on the making of this movie, and obviously they didn't just shoot a concert and then slap a movie together on it. I mean, like they put this crazy stage together. By the way, the stage is really cool because it's all like these monitors on the ground where like they show video underneath their feet, and it's this really cool stage. And like I said, there's all this pyrotechnics, and there's just like surprise after surprise and these enormous props and stuff, and it's like they just wanted to come up with the most grandiose thing they could do for this movie. And so it's not just a regular Metallica concert. They went way above and beyond, and it's cool that the band didn't like pull it back just because it's a movie.
Yeah.
You know, because that could have potentially happened. But it also helped that they have this enormous crowd. And they build into the story aspect of it that this is a Metallica concert, and that helps a lot, because if this was just like a 2-hour music video with all of these songs, or if it was just, you know, it's all on stage, it could have either been just, okay, we're watching a concert we didn't get to go to, or it could be, well, because it's a music video, you see the band playing, because you know a lot of music videos will do that, but you don't get a crowd. I think the crowd helped a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, most of the, I don't know about you, but most of the time when I see the music videos that has a lot of the band playing, those are the boring ones.
A lot of the time they are. And now sometimes they're fun when they kind of integrate that with some sort of narrative component, which the movie does. This is like a music video on a grand scale.
On steroids.
Except that you get the concert feeling in it,
yeah,
which I really appreciated. So I love how the band is constantly bringing in the audience, and the way that they interact with the audience, and they make it an interactive experience with them. And the way they did Fade to Black was just brilliant. You know, the end of that, where you've got the na-na-na-na-nas, right?
Well, and that's Memory Remains.
I'm sorry, Memory Remains.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Anyway, so you're getting to the end of I always get those mixed up for some reason with the
well, the Fade to Black is a line in that. But
yes, okay, thank you. Anyway, okay, so yes, I always forget. So that song is called Memory Remains. I always forget that. Well, part of the reason that I can't remember that, I have to tell this story, is Sarah and I for a long time had a hard time remembering the name of that song, and Sarah was trying to find it one day.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was the first time I'd ever heard it. I heard it in the car. I was delivering pizzas.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. So I told you about it, and you had heard it before a lot. But I had some.
But I couldn't remember the title of it.
Yeah. So I
clearly I still can't remember the title of it.
Yeah. So I was delivering pizzas. The song came on the radio. It was the best Metallica song I had ever heard. And so of course I had to know what it was called.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember any of the lines from the song, which was unfortunate because it's hard to look things up. So the only part I remembered was the na 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 na. So I figured, okay, what the heck? So I went to my computer and I plugged in Metallica na 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 lyrics. And it actually told me the name of the song.
Yeah, that always cracked me up. My least favorite thing, I'm going back and forth on this, because the more I've thought about it, you know, Sarah and I talked a little bit about this before we started recording, and I was going to say it was that I thought that the movie ended somewhat anticlimactically, because when it was over, I kind of thought there were maybe going to be a couple more songs left, and without giving away the ending, I don't want to talk about what it's doing at the end, because there's actually some really interesting story and thematic things going on. And when you get to the end of it, we didn't get the big slam bang kind of ending I sort of expected we would get. Like, there's not a big show-stopping number. I think that, and maybe that's open to taste, because like the last song isn't supposed to be a show-stopping number. That's there for a reason. There's kind of this message in the film, not that it's heavy-handed or anything, but by the end there seems to me to be somewhat of a message of kind of the show must go on, but also we were discussing this earlier. This idea of kind of the sort of the circle of life in the sense of a career, you know, like going back to the beginning, and we get that at the end of this, and so I don't think you could have really had the big show-stopping ending and still done that, because the kind of point is reeling it back from the giant spectacle to sort of more of the we started in our garage idea. So the more I thought about it, the more I like the ending. And yet, there were a couple of songs that I really wanted to see and didn't get. So I have the same thing you do. I think my least favorite thing is that we didn't get Unforgiven and we didn't get Sanitarium, because those are two of my favorite songs, but that's just a taste thing. There's very little I don't like about this movie. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. And also, I said, I already gave my best thing. Also, though, maybe what I should have said was that I didn't hate the narrative structure, because I was so surprised by that. When it started, I was like, can't we just watch the concert?
Yeah.
And then I got into that. It's really over the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
ridiculous.
It's preposterous, and it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's so absurd.
Anyway, so obviously I'm feeling it. So you liked the narrative structure too?
I loved it. Yeah. Well, I think I liked the absurdity of it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have felt right about. I mean, I would have still enjoyed it, but I wouldn't have felt right about going to the theater and just watching a 2-hour Metallica concert. You wanted a movie. I would have felt cheated because, hey, I just want to go to a 2-hour Metallica concert. And just be there. Big pyrotechnics or not, I want to be there.
This gave it a great reason to be in the theater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so I liked that we were getting a little bit more, and then at the same time, I loved how entertaining it was. And especially since most of the time when we got this second narrative thing going on, we actually got the Metallica concert in the background still going as music.
Yeah, it surprisingly didn't encroach upon the concert.
No, it really didn't.
Sometimes you would go back to that guy for like a minute and a half or something, but then the concert music starts right back up again. We never leave the concert for very long, and I was afraid at the beginning of it, when we saw him, I was like, okay, we're going to get like 10-15 minutes of this guy and then a song.
Yeah.
And then 10 or 15 minutes, and it's going to feel more like a musical than a Metallica movie.
And it really
doesn't do that.
We get a lot of music. Seamless as far as the transitions back and forth. It never really was all that jarring.
Yeah.
Except for the couple times that it was kind of meant to be, It seemed like, they were making a point of.
Yeah, but that was deliberate.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, no, I thought it was great.
There are a lot of images in this movie that are asking to be interpreted, and I want to see it again because I have a kind of a broad read on what the movie is doing from a dramatic sense. And by the way, like I said, the narrative structure is very loose. Mm-hmm. As a story, it feels almost more like a fairy tale than anything.
Yeah, it's a quest type of story.
Yeah.
Where this kid has an errand, and he has many perils.
Worst errand ever. He gets attacked by zombies, and he's on fire.
And all he really had to do is go put gas in a truck and bring something back.
That's right.
But, he has to face all these dangers. And, and it sucks because he has to miss the Metallica concert in the process. But, all these dangers, life and death situations, especially death, and and then overcomes the obstacles, brings the item back. I mean, that's the story.
What's great is all of the classic themes that you think of when you think of Metallica, when you think of war and you think of death, and you think of the darker parts of life, but also overcoming those things. It was all reflected in that guy's story, and it's fun how he's doing all of these things that connect so closely to what's going on in the songs, and in a heavy-handed sort of way, but on purpose. Like, this wouldn't have worked if it tried to be grounded.
No, not at all.
It
would have felt heavy-handed if they had tried to ground it. I think the absurdity helped it. And actually, I was thinking as we were going through it that the whole setup of the plot with the concert and going back and forth to this narrative thing, it just reminded me so much of the Black Freighter stuff in Watchmen.
In Watchmen, only I liked it better.
I liked it a lot better, and it was actually less heavy-handed. But it was kind of
because it's not just echoing a story that you're already watching.
Yeah, but it was actually just this second narrative piece that was going along in conjunction with the concert that was playing off and echoing the themes that we were getting in the songs and in the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it was really cool.
And a big thing I got from it too was I felt like, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, I felt like Metallica was trying to say, especially with the way the movie ends, without giving away exactly what it does, I felt like it was like some of this was Metallica saying that they sing about the darker parts of life, but that they themselves are not cynical people. Mm-hmm. Because it has a lighter ending.
Yeah, it really does. It's all about going back to your roots, back to your beginning, life coming full circle. And you get through, you overcome obstacles.
And appreciating where you came from, not letting the fame change you. I felt a lot of that through this.
Yeah.
The way that it's shot, especially, I keep seeing all of the guys, but especially Hatfield, as like these gods of rock. Mm-hmm. And I think most people would say they kind of are, and they seem larger than life. It's like they're not real people. But then, I mean, not real people in the sense that like they're bigger than just normal people.
They're larger than life. They're like the heroes, like the gods among men, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that they've changed the world in so many different kinds of ways, mm-hmm. and they've been so influential in music, but clearly in a lot of other sorts of things too. When we look at the visual dynamic of this, Metallica has a very distinct visual aesthetic also, mm-hmm. and so I'm going through this movie thinking, you're watching these guys on stage, thinking like these guys can do no wrong. They're such showmen. Mm-hmm. And then and then there are things during the concert that break down and don't work right.
Yeah.
And when you get to the end of it, they kind of do a culmination of all of that. And these guys, they're still larger than life, and they're still they still kind of look like gods. Mm-hmm. But I think that they're also kind of saying we're also people, and we started from a place.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just really I couldn't believe that this concert movie, I was getting something about the people in the band, and without it ever having to go biographical, Yeah. You don't have to know anything about Metallica, you know what I mean?
You can just jump in and you get a sense of who these people are.
Yeah.
Just by watching this thing.
In a personality sort of sense, because they never say, well, these guys came from this place, and
mm-hmm.
it's not about that, you know? It's not like an old, VH1 behind the music kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like that it wasn't that. So I thought it was very original in the way that it went back and forth between the concert footage and...
Oh, I know, I've certainly never seen
that. And I did a little bit of reading, and they wanted to try to do something that hadn't quite been done with this sort of thing. And lately, concert movies have been kind of coming back, and so it's neat that they're trying to innovate, because that's what Metallica did, man. They innovated, and I mean, like over the years, you can say, they've kind of rewritten the same song a few times, and mm-hmm. that like some of their later albums aren't as good as their early things, and there's some rehashing and stuff. But it's nice to see them trying to innovate again.
Oh yeah. And succeeding.
Yeah, and I mean, the success is open to interpretation and personal take. I think they succeeded.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just blown away by it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. It was a fantastic film. And it's
worth it for the spectacle, if nothing else.
It lent itself to just a fun, entertaining evening.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot of fun to sit through, especially being a Metallica fan.
Yeah, and it made me remember how much I love Metallica, mm-hmm. because Sarah and I listened to Metallica a lot when we were dating.
Yeah.
It was just a band that we enjoyed a lot together. And it's funny because you were never into real hard rock before that.
No, not really.
And I had only recently gotten into more hard rock, but not, I had heard Metallica before, but I didn't know them that well.
Yeah.
And more of kind of the present day stuff at the time of early 2000s, 2003, 2004, Evanescence and bands like that, and they Fuel, bands like that, and then you and I just started listening to a ton of Metallica, and I think probably what drew us to them so much was just guitar solos.
Yeah. That was a big thing for me. Well, and that guy's voice.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy can sing like few others.
What do you think was the best song in the film?
Ooh,
besides just like personal taste, what you love the most, like what was just the best performance that they just rocked your socks off on?
I couldn't even begin to pick.
Yeah.
My personal favorite was Memory Remains, but I mean, I'd have to watch it again a couple times before I found a an actual favorite that they performed, because they were just so good on all of them.
The one that I thought was most impressive, and part of this was because of just the crazy thing they did on stage with the statue without going too far in.
Yeah.
But Justice for All was never a song that I was a big fan of.
Yeah.
And I liked it better
Yeah.
seeing it in concert.
Yeah.
And seeing this really elaborate set piece they did with it.
Yeah. That was cool.
I've never seen anything like that. It was brilliant.
Yeah. I liked what they did with Fuel.
Yeah, I did too. You know, the moment they give that kid the gas can at the beginning, I'm like, I know where that's going.
Yeah.
Like he grabs the gas can, and in my head, I'm like, give me fuel, give me fire. Like I know where they're going with this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was all good.
Well, anyway, so obviously we're recommending the film. We really were feeling it, and we'll buy this when it comes out. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Well, anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We sure appreciate it. And Brandon and I will be with you soon for another review. I think the next thing we're doing is probably Gravity, and again, still hoping to do Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. If Sarah and I can get to that sometime in the next few days, we'll try to do that one for you soon. So lots of new movie reviews coming your way. I'm Captain Logan,
And I'm Sarah.
See you next time. Bye.